All right, well, good evening and welcome back to C4 Facebook Live, and Merry Christmas to everybody. We're getting real close to Christmas. Actually, on a programming note, we won't be live next week, but we will be live the following week. So we hope you have, everybody has a good Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And for tonight, we are actually going to cover our What Does C4 Operations Cover Part 2. So we are going to go over state searches and county versus federal searches and county versus state searches, and then we'll see where we're at for time, and we may cover a few other things as well. So let's talk about state searches. State searches are a little different. Last time we talked about the National Criminal Database, or a National Criminal Database, which is basically just a selection of a group of records from all over the country. Just like that, we have state searches that are possible. Some states have very good searches. Other states, you can't get a state search at all. California, for example, doesn't even have anything like a state search. And there's other states like that as well. And so those states, you have to go county by county by county. But why would you do that? Why would you go county by county? Why would you do a state search? Great question. In some states, Oregon and Colorado have phenomenal state records. So what that means is they've gotten their whole court system together, and every court is part of it. Every court represents in it, and you can get the full state complete search with the court records in that state. That's the best way to go, because for employment purposes especially, there's a lot of things that another state report that just goes by police records and not court records, they might report that. And it might be the kind of a thing where if it's reported from a police search, it might have a dismissed record on it, or just an arrest record without a conviction or any kind of disposition. And so because of that, you may think you're looking at a completed file with a disposition and everything, but it might just be an arrest record. Well, they may have just arrested the person, but not convicted the person. If that's the case, you are not allowed to make an employment decision based upon those arrest records only. You can only make an employment decision based upon a conviction record. And so there's things like that. Now you can, technically, the FCRA says you can see those for 7 years. But we don't even report back just an arrest record because of that whole situation. If they were to get arrested and not convicted, but yet if you didn't employ them because of that arrest that did not turn into conviction, that could be a legal situation, and we don't want that for you. And so that's why we go by court records. Well, a lot of the state searches go by just police records. It's an accumulation of all kinds of different police records. So there's one factor there. Another factor is in a lot of states, they're not complete records. They get police records from certain police departments or certain jurisdictions, but not everybody. And so you might not be looking at a complete set of records there. If you go county by county by county, then that is a much better situation, and we'll get into that in just a minute. So anyway, as far as the state search, that's what you want to consider. That's what you want to think about is the county record versus the state record. The county record is always going to be better because it's going to cover the complete county in that particular county. The state sounds like it's great because you think you're getting the whole state, but you're really not in a lot of situations. In some situations, like I mentioned, Colorado and Oregon, those are great systems. Other states, make sure you ask your background check company, or for sure, if you're one of our clients, ask us, and we'll tell you about the state that you're in, and we'll tell you about how good that state search is. Now, let's talk about a county search versus a federal court search. We talked last week about county searches and how good they are, and how we would encourage you to use the county search. And that's what we do for the most part for most of our clients, is we go county by county by county. You have a court reporter, they're in there, they're doing their job, and they're reporting all that information. The problem is that a county search doesn't include anything about federal courts. Take you back to 12th grade civics class here. There's a county court system in the United States and a federal court system in the United States. The problem is two great court systems, but they don't communicate. So if you do a county search, you're not going to know any kind of federal court information. If you do a federal search, you're not going to see any kind of county court information. So that's why it's very good to do both of those in a search package. Like for instance, our $23 best value package has both of those. It has a county search and a federal court search and a national crim and Social Security and your sex offender. So all of those things are included in there. So that's why we call it the best value. It's the best value for your money for those searches. So that's county versus federal. Now let's get back to county versus state for a minute. We talked about a county search and a state search. The county search is very good. It's going to cover everything in that county 99% of the time, be a very, very good search. A state search, like we said, can have its holes and gaps, or it can be very good. So just make sure you're asking either us as your background check company or whoever your provider might be, and make sure that you are getting what you think you're getting when you're doing a state search. Next thing is, let's talk a little bit about employment and education verifications. Employment and education verifications can be very good. They can actually take a little longer though, because if the people giving the verification do not get back to us right away, that can hold up a background check a little bit. And then obviously there are fees that are associated with those, especially with the education and the employment areas. For the education, there's clearinghouses that they are working with, and there's also clearinghouses that the employers are working with. So some of those have separate fees. So you're going to pay a search fee that's included in our package, but then you're also going to pay either a verification fee for the clearinghouse for the education or the clearinghouse for the employment. And more organizations are using those, especially your colleges for the education. More and more of them are using the student clearinghouses, the clearinghouses that have all of those records, and they make a deal with them, and it costs so much money to go get those records. But we can definitely do that for you. We can offer that, and that takes more time for us to do and less time for you to do, which is the key. So those are the things there. Those are 4 more of the services that C4 offers. You've got your state search, your county versus your federal, your county versus your state, and then your employment and your education verifications. So I think we're going to cut it off there for tonight. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody. We hope that you have a great time with your family. Enjoy some good family time. And we wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Thanks.